it's me, Yana. Welcome back to my channel. I am a junior in college and I do videos based on college life, lifestyle, productivity. I do vlogs, I do some advice videos, some hauls, a little bit of variety, I don't know. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you and you'd like to check out my videos, and also check out any new videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn your post notifications on so you can be notified when I upload. So today's video is going to be kind of like a rant type of video. So before I did a video on what working in retail is like, and it did pretty well, and if you want to watch it, I'll put a link to it below and have it in the cards or something. But basically I talked about my experience like working in retail, kind of like the secrets or like what goes on or whatever. So I'm kind of doing like retail horror stories and like talking about different experiences I've had working in retail and how they really sucked. Without any further ado, let's just get into this video. As you guys know or may not know, I used to work at Target and TJ Maxx. Those were the two retail stores that I worked at, and then I also worked at Rue 21 for a day, which was the worst first job experience ever, which I will also link down below if you want to hear what happened. It was pretty bad. I don't know how it's even legal, but go check that out. It's been a crazy experience both. I feel like I lost my faith in humanity working in retail, and it is just not fun, okay? So there was this specific experience at Target. I think I started working there when I was 16. Yeah, I was 16 working at Target. And I think this was like one of my third or fourth days, so I was still pretty new, figuring things out, and a really cranky, crabby old lady comes into my lane and she's like throwing her stuff on the conveyor belt and being really snotty and rude. She has like her grandkid there. She's like being rude to her grandkid, just being in a really bad mood, which, okay, I get, we all have bad days and we all get crabby and angry, but it doesn't make it right to like take it out on the cashier, you know? Anyways, so yeah, she's like putting all her stuff in, and I'm like just scanning like the non-food stuff first, so just like notebooks, like weird things, I don't know. And then I get to the food stuff and I start scanning it, and then she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like what? I'm just ringing you up. She's like, "What are you doing with my eggs?" And I'm like scanning the eggs, like I'm like, "Oh, did you not want them, like do you want them in a, put a few plastic bags around them, like do you want them backed up?" She's like, "No, why are you scanning my eggs?" And I'm like, "I need to get the barcode." And she's like, "No, you have to type it in." And I'm like, "What? Why?" And she's like, "The red laser that you use to scan, that is going to give me radiation and make my eggs have radiation on them when I eat them." And I was just like, what? Radiation on her eggs? And so she literally, I kid you not, made me hand key in all of her food, like every little thing. Like, what the actual heck? And then she was still like super like mad and snotty with me. She'd be like, ugh, like rolling her eyes at me. And then the transaction's over. I take out the receipt and I give it to her. She's like, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "That's such a sloppy way to give me the receipt." And I'm like, "Do you want me to like fold it like super nice? Do you think I have time to do that when there's like a line of customers?" Like, I don't get like the audacity of people. Like, this woman was crazy. Like, I'm sorry, but who does that? Like, do you not have, like, I don't understand. It was insane. It was crazy. It still irks me to this day. I am just so mad about it. that was like one of like the worst experiences working there. Also, disclaimer, I have nothing against Target or TJ Maxx. Love those places, still shop there. I'm just sharing experiences. This doesn't happen to everyone, but you know, working in retail, you learn a lot. I'm not going to say what store this, like which, if it was Target, Route 21, or TJ Maxx. I'm just going to say it. I don't know. Basically how it works is usually there's a store manager or like a higher up manager, and then there's like just like a front store manager. I primarily worked as a cashier in all my retail jobs. There was this girl who was one of like the frontline managers, I guess is what you could call them, and she was really like, I think she was my age. She might have been like, yeah, I think she was my age or a year older than me, so we weren't like far off in age. She was really loud and like aggressive, I guess. She would do this thing where like because she was like friends, they went to the same school with like another girl who's a cashier, and the two of them would just sit and talk, like stand there and talk even when there's a line of customers, and it's like, you're a manager, what are you doing? So they would like talk, and I would be like basically attending to the line of people like by myself and or another girl, and we would be looking at each other like, why are they just sitting there talking, like, you know? And then I was like cleaning up my space a little bit, because like as a lot of people come in, you have like hangers or like bags from returns, or it just like gets messy, so I was just putting the hangers away and stuff. And the manager lady was like still talking to this girl, and then she stopped talking to her and she turned around to me and she's like, what are you doing? Can you ring the other people? Like, you need to be standing up there ringing people. And I'm like, what? You're telling me to ring people when you're literally keeping another girl who could be cashiering people, but you're talking to her and chit-chatting, gossiping, talking about like which boys you did things with and like stuff like that. Like just super unprofessional. Like, even if it's a retail store, even if it's a fast food, I don't care what industry you're working in, like professionalism is like so important to me. Anyway, so they were just, it was just like things like that would happen all the time, and I would like ignore it. It would build, it would like kind of build, and I would get mad and like just come home and like rant to my family or friends about it. Like, it was just not healthy. Luckily I didn't have to work with her on every single shift, because like the managers rotate and stuff like that. But when I would, it would be awful. Okay, another story with this girl, let's call her Jessica. We'll just call her Jessica for the sake of this video. Okay, so Jessica, and then there is another head manager, which we will call her Lily. Okay, Jessica and Lily were kind of like working at the front. Lily, the head manager, she was just like doing phone calls and getting like business stuff done, and then Jessica was just like sitting there like talking to her coworkers, or just like, or trying to like act good, and whenever Lily would get off the phone and look around to check. But I was just like doing my own business, like cashiering, and then a woman came up and wanting to return something. So usually in stores, in some stores, if you return an item that's over a certain price point, like let's say $50, if it's over $50 that they're trying to return something that's worth over $50, you have to get a front manager. It doesn't have to be a head manager, but a front manager to come over and approve the return. Anything like under that amount, the cashier can just go ahead and return it. If they, you know, have the receipt or whatever. And the reason for that being is because a lot of people like to scam and try to return something that's they say it's $50 or the price tag says it's $50, but they really pulled it off something else and are just trying to make money off of it, which would happen all the time, you guys. Like you would never think people steal or do that type of stuff, but in retail it happens all the time. Like, I'm just in shock. Anyways, still in shock over this. Luckily I don't work retail anymore, but you know, back to the story. So a lady came up to me trying to return something. It was some kind of like appliance, kitchen appliance, whatever. It was over $50, so Lily, the like store manager, was busy, so I couldn't call her over, but I had to call over Jessica, the mean manager, over to approve the return. And she comes over, she's like, what? She's like, I call her name, she's like, what? And I'm like, this return is over $50, I need your approval. And she comes over, like, looks at it, and she's like, okay, go ahead. And then she signs the thing, the receipt, saying that she signed off on it, whatever. Returns it. I give the lady her money back, whatever, everything's fine. And Lily, the head manager, looks at the return bin to see what needs to be put back, to what needs to be thrown away, like things like that. She picks up like the kitchen appliance and looks at it, and she's like, the price tag that's on this doesn't match what's in the system, and this thing was actually worth $20, but the lady returned it for $50. And she's like, who returned this with, like, who approved, or like who returned this? And Jessica right away is like, Yana returned it. And I'm like, and Lily was like, did you return it? And I'm like, yeah. And Jessica was like, yeah, she she just returned it without looking at it. And I'm like, what the actual heck? You literally approved my return. Like, I called you up to approve this return, and now you're like telling Lily, the store manager, that it's my fault. And I didn't say anything, which was like, I kind of regret not standing up for myself, but I just like let it go, like, kind of, because I knew that eventually Lily would find out that Jessica was the one that she signed it, because all the store managers take the receipts of the returns and look at who approved what and whatnot. So I knew that this was going to, like, I just knew that it would get figured out eventually. Lily was like, she was like, okay, Yana, like, you shouldn't have like done this, to like make sure that you call us over and check. And like, she was giving me like a spiel, and I was about to say I did get it approved by Jessica, but then another customer came and I had to ring them up, and like it got really busy and chaotic, so I never really had the chance to like talk to Lily and like tell her what went on. But yeah, that was just like a really sleazy thing for a manager to do, for Jessica to do. And like the fact that she didn't own up to being the one who approved return, because she's the one who didn't look it up in the system, she's the one who made the mistake. I did the right thing by like calling someone over. But yeah, but later on, the store managers like reviewed the receipt, and they saw that like nothing happened, that it wasn't my fault, and stuff like that. So that didn't like happen until way later. And basically, long story short, Jessica had to not work there anymore. So I don't really know exactly what happened, if she was fired or if like something happened, but all of a sudden she was gone. Like, I don't know, apparently like a lot of like weird sketchy things happened with Jessica. It was just she just didn't know how to do her job. Anyways, but it just like goes to show how like catty people can be. And I know this was like a manager experience, but I've like heard from so many people and from watching videos on YouTube that like people in retail can be so just mean and crazy, like, and competitive against each other. Like, it's crazy. So I definitely have a lot more stories to tell. I don't want you guys to sit here like for an hour-long video, but if you do want to hear more stories, definitely give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below, seeing if you want me to do like a part 2 of this. I would definitely love to do it. I have so many stories about retail. Also, I don't work in retail anymore and I've never been happier. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you liked it, and thank you guys for all your support, and thank you for clicking on this video, and just for being you. Like, thank you for being you. I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.